shit to work up to the way that
for
we
sure,
fucking
dude.
partied back then.
You guys weren't off from snorting fire ants off the coffee table. I'm sure you were a step and a half away from it.
Oh,
or
no,
maybe more. Probably more.
I smoked crack once for a decade. That's all I'm gonna say.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. With your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
Oh, gotta see your pretty
see your
face, baby.
gorgeous fucking Jeffrey Dahmer-like face.
Why? Because I'm
Jeffrey Dahmer.
outgrowing here.
I want to take some pictures. That's my favorite line.
The garage nail.
That's what I do to my wife when I'm trying to be sexy.
You lock her in the garage and take pictures?
I just lock that shitty
Well, you
ass.
do have these lights, so you're like,
It's true.
we're going to take some nice looking pictures.
This is where the content is filmed.
I'm the new Richard Kern, dude.
Oh,
Anyway, welcome to Get Heavy Podcast, guys. We have a special episode tonight. Jay has died of diabetes, so we had to replace him with Noel. R.I.P. Jay. Just kidding.
Oh, how convenient that he dies of diabetes. He technically owes me for
Does he?
a swap item.
Damn.
I kind of thought I was coming here not to collect, but at least...
At least confront.
strong arm a little.
No, I thought it would be an easy handoff. I didn't think it was going to be, now I'm in his chair.
Yeah, well, now you have.
I got
a throne,
work
so
out of it. I
there
thought I
you
was
go.
going to get paid, and here I am.
You took his job.
Well, you know what?
took his
Some guys will
job.
do anything to get out of debt.
No, I know Jay's good. But
yeah.
it gives me an excuse to see him outside the podcast.
This is true. Yeah.
In the wild.
In the wild, Jay in the wild is a whole thing, dude.
It was cool. He was getting...
He gets busy, but welcome back, and you brought on your buddy Marion Black,
What's up?
artist,
How y'all doing?
musician, bouncer in Portland, a troublemaker. Maybe
Always.
currently still, always.
Can't never not.
Can't never
be.
not.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you
It's
coming
good
down.
to have you.
Yeah. So we he hit me up out of nowhere. Obviously, I don't know you at all. You know what I mean? And we had a little bit of chat, and you had some pretty interesting shit to say. I mean, obviously, musician, right? You're coming out with some new music.
Yeah. The album should be out in like a month or so.
That's cool. What's the album called?
It's just my name, Marion Black.
Okay.
It's coming out on Gems, Jems label. They're out of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. It's a very spur of the moment podcast. You were doing some really interesting shit yesterday, which we cannot talk about.
Top secret.
Unfortunately, you guys will see it eventually.
Can you allude to it somehow? Just to
Is
add
there an
some
illusion,
suspense?
maybe? No?
So let's just say that I was getting sued by a stripper. And we'll leave it there. That's another one.
That was perfect. You just need a little bait there.
Yeah, just a little teaser. You know what I mean? So where do you live in Portland now?
Yeah. I do.
Okay, awesome. So how I wanted to ask, because we were chatting, a couple days ago, and you told me a bit of your life story, which is all over the place and
Yeah.
just like I would expect it to be. You know what I mean? So where were you born? Like, where'd you grow up and all that? Can you give us kind of the beginning, an overall?
All right. So I was born in Spokane, Washington. Adopted. My birth mother was a prostitute. My dad's name was John. I don't really know my full nationality, but it doesn't fucking matter because I made my own person for myself. And,
Right.
ran away when I was a kid. I've been wanted. I've been famous for good things, up and down, left and right.
Been infamous for some other things, probably.
Oh, God, yeah. A lot of people hate me.
Yeah.
And it's okay, though, because, all publicity is good publicity.
All right.
Fuck it.
All right. There you go. Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time in New Orleans, Houston, Portland, Oakland, on the streets, on the rails, on the roads.
Really?
Yeah.
At what point were you, because I remember you told me you were kind of raised in foster and all that
Yeah.
shit. Like, was there a point at which you're like, fuck this, I'm gone?
Yeah, I was about 15, maybe 16, and I just had enough,
Been ran through the system and all
Yeah,
that.
and, I fucking get abused at school, get abused at home. My grandparents were the only people that were positive in my life, and my grandpa had an iron fucking fist that, you fucked up. whack
Yeah.
out of nowhere. You got
felt
closed fist punched in the face, and you knew what the fuck you did.
Right.
And if you cried, you got it again. If you just shut up and never did it again, everything was good. And that's
Right.
just the way I grew up. So.
Right. At that, were you living with them when you decided to fucking peace out?
It was between. I was raised between them and like my adoptive mom and dad, and
Okay.
my mom's cool as fuck. She's the only one out of all of them that's still alive.
Right.
But like we're not close.
Yeah.
Like,
So where did you go? Like you're in Spokane at this point, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the train life? Like what attracted you to getting the fuck out of there? Was it that type of shit? Were you in punk rock, metal at the
Yeah,
time?
I
What
mean,
were
I
you
was
attracted to?
I was a punk rocker. I was always in trouble. Like I remember in like junior high, I drew my own Misfits shirt, and I got pulled aside by the school counselor and asked if it was a gang.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You never heard of the Misfits?"
What? How old are you?
45.
Okay, so you're a couple years older than me. So
And
yeah. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because like I remember getting a bunch of food thrown at me when I had big spiky hair and my bondage belt, and some fucking redneck douchebag like, "Hey faggot, what's that sex belt for?"
Yeah.
I was like, "It's so your mom don't run, motherfucker." And then I ended up running because the whole crew of them would chase me, and
Yeah.
that
Well,
was,
it was
that
like
was my short and sweet cool.
I always
career.
talk about like I think all of us are roughly the same age. We're like the last generation where being a punk was like you had to pay for it. You know, what I mean? A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like my kids and their generations, a little bit previous. They, it's now part of the phase of being a 13 to 15-year-old. You go through your punk rock phase.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It's like when we were kids, you literally had to earn it.
Yeah,
you
you
know
had
what I
to
mean?
fight
and,
for
and the
that
guys
shit.
in the fucking 80s obviously had to fucking earn it. You know what I mean? But
I was the other day I was vending at Gigi's and I was trying to sell a Dr. No record. And this mom was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, 86, Dr. No, that was like the coolest tape in high school." And she starts like circling me. And I was just like, "Well, yeah, that rules." Like,
Did you hit on her?
no, she was cool. She was just chilling.
you didn't throw no fucking.
She
heat?
tried to put like a poncho on, and she's like, "My big old titties won't fit in this poncho." Like, I was just like, "All right."
Fucking A, man.
She was cool though, but I just thought that was
they had to earn
hilarious.
it back then, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You did too, I'm sure. And
yeah.
I definitely paid for it. I got called. I don't know how many times I got called fag. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
And it's funny. 'Cause
I know your friends can be the hardest ones,
This is
right?
true.
I think I got called fag so much I became one, sort of.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like he got like convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad would always be like, "Are you the queen of the fairies?" I'm like, "What is that? I didn't even know."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, maybe I am. Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Whatever,
that's cool. So you dabble sexually either way.
Yeah,
Good for you.
openly bisexual. I'm a male stripper. I'm a strip club bouncer. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm a real pain in a lot of people's ass.
Man. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But you also have been a Michelin star cook as well.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get to like so
a
you
true
start-
Renaissance man.
This is
here.
well, hey man,
It's a different world we live in these days. You got to do
You're the
it.
punk rock Anthony Bourdain, dude.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So did you start train hopping first? Like, did you spend years doing that shit? Is that how
Yeah.
you got out? Was that your
Yeah.
escape plan? Essentially?
Yeah, like hitchhike, hop freight, fucking steal stuff.
Yeah.
Like bad kid shit.
Yeah.
So wait, is there a train line? Because I know Spokane, like the Columbia River comes out to the coast.
Spokane is on the High Line, which
So were you
brings me-
coming west first, probably, right?
Yeah, first thing we would do is hitchhike to Seattle, and then come down to Portland, escape Burnside,
Right.
and then go back up, and I did that little L for a couple years.
Yeah, just
And that
getting
was
used
trains
to
the whole way, or would you get to the coast and get like car rides after that? Or
It depended, like you can do both. Sometimes I'd hitchhike, sometimes I'd hop, but
Right.
yeah.
Now there's a whole culture around that shit. Right?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
but like
it's-
we were like, how there's like Star Trek and then the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
We were like the first one with Captain Kirk and shit.
Oh really?
Yeah, like
There you
and
go.
Spock.
The
Yeah.
originals. The OG,
yeah, we were, and then it just gets kind of weirder and watered down ever since.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know what happens on trains. You know what I mean? I dealt being from around here. We dealt with a lot of kids that were train hoppers that would come.
Well, it's
through and
funny
stuff.
the spots that become a spot because there's a time or it's convenient. And like the coast here, there's a lot of spots. And why
Right.
wouldn't you stop? And then there's bridges to chill in and stuff or whatever. I remember, there was always interesting kids in town.
Yeah,
like,
but they
what
were
the
always
fuck?
hippies.
Or no, just some like gnarly
there's some
train
weird-
fools where
Yeah,
it was like, whoa,
yeah,
and then
the
they'd just
real-
be gone like the next week, and it was just like that was wild. They just had
Yeah.
a weird hint of paradise. Like they're probably still talking about it. Like I went to Ventura
One time I went to this town.
because it would be
Yeah.
wild. You could get into some funny ass shit in a week, and then
This
you're
is
just
true.
gone.
I've
you
had
know?
some of the best times and worst times of my life getting off a train in a random place I'd never been before.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything stick out in your mind as far as experiences?
Yeah. This one time, I was living in New Orleans and I was dating a Canadian girl, but her dad lived in Tampa, and it was like Valentine's Day. For some reason, I have this reoccurring theme of Valentine's Day fucking sucking
Yeah.
ass. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But so she was down helping her dad out, and I got shithouse wasted, and I decided that I was gonna hop trains down and see her and surprise her for Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told. I don't remember any of this.
Okay.
And then I came out of a blackout in like crab stance on a freight train with a no cover on the wheels.
Yeah.
Because I jumped on the bottomless one.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got my feet on this metal rail. I got my hands on this metal rail, and the wheels are spinning underneath of me. And I had to sit that way, like just came out of a blackout there, like, oh, fuck. And I had to ride for like 5 miles.
Oh, fuck.
Finally, the train stopped. I jumped off. I got on a rideable car, and I opened my backpack up, and I shit you not, I had a carton of cigarettes, 4 bottles of Mad Dog, and 2 lighters. That was it. I had no food,
Nothing.
and no water. I didn't even have a fucking coat.
Well, you had tradables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you'd have a little currency. Train
Yeah.
currency. What's the most valuable train currency?
water.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, man, if you get thirsty on that motherfucker,
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
because
actually
that's
makes
probably
sense.
like altered a lot of people's trips, like getting off and then being stuck because the train took
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
like
oh, yeah.
for water.
That's crazy, man.
But so I jumped off at Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized what I had done to myself once again. Bad ideas, bad news bears is like my fucking anthem. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
my spirit animal.
But now you're in the thick of it, so you're just going with it.
well, then I got to Mobile, and I fucking got off, and I begged some money, and I called my roommate because I worked and had an apartment at this time. I'm
Yeah.
just an idiot, and I had no money and a bunch of booze and shit.
yeah.
And I call him, like, hey. And she's like, how you feeling, dipshit? So she's the one
She
that
knew
filled
what
me
was
in
up.
on what I did when I left. I was like, can you give me a bus ticket home so I can... Yeah, and for Mobile, I had to spend the night, and I got on the fucking shame train of the Greyhound the next day.
Oh, yeah.
shame
Came,
train.
back. I had to sleep under a bridge that night, and I thought I was alone. And then all of a sudden, I heard snoring from all around me, and I fucking hit my flashlight. And I was surrounded by like 300 like nasty old bums and like poop everywhere. I'm
Oh,
like, God damn, I fucking
How did
hate-
you think you were alone in that situation?
Well, I was wasted. I drank
Oh.
all the Mad Dog and tried to go to sleep under a bridge.
Well, did they come later or were they already there? You think?
No, they were already there. I just
Oh.
kind of like got shit house
Yeah,
and
and
stumbled
like,
up
oh,
in
this,
there.
this feels
I'm
like the
oh,
place
this
to
hurts.
be.
Stretch out, touch some dude's fucking balls on accident. Yeah, it was all bad.
Yeah, man. The train hopping life is wild, man. I've always, when I was a teenager, you heard about it, and fucking like Against Me was fucking around. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and they're making it look cool as fuck.
No, it's
and-
not cool. It's
I know.
horrible,
You
but
know what I
it's-
mean? It's like, no, man, I'm not that. Because I'm also not built for that. I'm like,
Yeah, we're kind of like.
I'm not. I'm
I don't know,
a pussy,
bigger
but I'm
dude
like also
you.
too violent at heart to like.
Oh, I thought you meant more like actual girth. I
Oh
was
no,
like,
literally,
me
yeah.
too. Like,
I'm
built
literally
for
not
that.
built for it. Running on a train moving is probably not my forte, but
Well, the violent part helps.
helps, does it?
it's-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got to know how to fight to do that shit.
I would assume, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you train hop for a portion of your life, and then you end up in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you end up in New Orleans? How did you get into being a chef? Like, how did all that happen?
Well, when I was not quite ran away from home and left school, my buddy, his dad was the culinary school director at like the local high school dropout fucking program for like culinary arts.
Okay.
And I went in there, and he knew that as soon as he let me out, I was going to be doing dope with his son. And so he would keep me after and like take all the house knives and scrape them on a cinder block and make me sharpen 20 knives before I left with like detention.
Okay. All right.
So you figured that amount of time would be less time I was getting high with his kid.
Right.
You know, but so
An interesting way into the culinary
yeah,
world.
yeah. But yeah, he was He's a great man. I'm still friends with his son today. He lives in Portland too.
Okay.
His dad's retired now, but like we remain in contact. He's very close. I would almost consider him family. Mm-hmm. But that was how it started, and I started washing dishes and hopping freight around and being a dirtbag, and then I was cooking, and all of a sudden I was a manager, and I was like, how the fuck did I accidentally make a career out of trying to eat, steal booze, and fuck the wait staff at the same time?
Right. Yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah, it's just the way it went.
Yeah. So where did you end up working? Like, were you at a specific restaurant for a long time, or did you jump around? I mean, obviously, you're a chef. Do you consider yourself a chef?
Oh no, I'm like kind of famous.
Okay, well, cool. Like, I don't know. Treat me like I'm retarded because I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enlighten me. What has your career path been?
Well, I worked my way up real quick in New Orleans from there was this mafia-run Italian place that was pretty sketchy. Like, I watched the owner of the restaurant pistol whip some guy down the back stairs for insulting his grandmother's lobster recipe and shit.
Stupid.
That was pretty rough.
That's rad.
But from there, I moved into a very well-known family in New Orleans that owns, all the good restaurants. And
okay.
They saw something in me and, pushed me. And, I ended up, I don't know. The culinary thing, I'll wrap up that I ended up in Houston. I won top 10 best new restaurants in Houston in 2013. Mm-hmm. I used to do regular segments on the Houston morning news, cooking segments and shit.
Yeah,
I was a big fucking deal there.
I didn't know you were on the news.
Yeah. Dude,
wait, did you have all this, everything?
I mean, not quite as much as I have now, but yeah.
Yeah.
I had my head was done, my neck, my hands, all that shit. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And man, they love me out there. I get offers to move back and cook all the time, but 27 years of doing the same fucking job.
I feel you, man.
I'd rather cut my own dick off slowly with a butter knife than fucking cook for people ever again in public.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll cook for my friends.
Sure.
Yeah, you want it to hurt.
So when you were in New Orleans, you're a Creole chef, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that really your specialty kind of stuff? You know
definitely
what I mean?
my specialty.
What is the major difference? What sets you apart as a Creole chef compared to just a regular dickhead? Butter, lots of butter.
I got yelled at by a whole bunch of black women.
There you go. That'll do it, huh?
Hit with a spoon when I fucked up.
Yeah, they get you the spoon.
Gives us the spoon.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Whack, you motherfucker.
Oh, because you fucked up the rice or something?
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of fucking dish from that area? Is it gumbo? Is there something?
Boudin?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I make this boudin that's a mix between one of the chefs I worked with and my good buddy Kent's grandfather's recipe. And he's from Lake Charles.
Whoa.
So it's a mix between Lafayette and Lake Charles boudin. And then I stuff it with pimento cheese that I smoke myself. I smoke the cheese and I pickle the peppers. Ooh. And then I deep fry that in a chicken batter. So it's this ball of boudin with cheesy fucking sex goodness dripping out of it when you open it. That's the shit.
That's the
boudin
one.
rules.
Is that your go-to when you want to make yourself feel good? You know what I mean?
It's the go-to when I want panties to drop.
There you go.
Have you had my boudin?
Yeah.
Baby. Come on.
Man.
Eat the
I remember the first time that we really got into boudin, AT was on the road, and they're like, oh, y'all, we'll take you to the best spot, and, took us to just some far-off spot, and we got, an ice chest full of it. We're just this stuff rules. We're just, chomping on it. But, it looks like a weird used condom at the end, the skin, and you're, throwing them at each other, and we were at this show, and this lady that went by the name of Big Cindy.
There you go.
She's like, oh, you got boudin? And she, finished our boudin in, 5 minutes. Dude.
Damn.
And she was, throwing those things at the dudes. It was super funny, dude. Just
Well, if I remember right, a lot of your roadies were used to having nasty shit thrown at them anyways back then.
That's probably true. Yeah. Dude, which, by the way, sidetrack. My favorite video I've seen in a while is the video of Pike talking about, which was posted on the Annihilation Time page. It's so good. Him and Jeff
move out of that house.
Talking about living at the AT house and how that was way too nuts for them. It made me laugh so fucking hard because I remember going there when you guys were there. We stopped by and he was living there, and I think he was doing that Callus or Colossus or whatever it was at the time, and it was just we've talked about your house endlessly, you know what I mean? But I just, to watch him be like, that house is fucking nuts. You know what I mean? And
pretty funny.
Well, for the guy that's known for being totally nuts, you know what I mean?
time for all of us because I lived in Oakland.
You
during
were there,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a pretty wild
It was-
time, dude.
Yeah, like that's some shit. I think Ozzy might have some shit to like
Yeah.
work up to the
No,
way
for
that we
sure,
fucking
dude.
partied
Yeah.
back then.
You guys weren't off from like snorting fire ants off the coffee table. I'm sure you were like a step and a half away from it.
Oh,
or
no,
maybe more.
like, yeah, I mean,
Probably more. Yeah.
I smoked crack once for a decade. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, man, that house was insane, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
But that is sidetrack. I didn't mean to sidetrack the thing.
No, that was pretty
I
funny.
watched that video the other day and I fucking giggled so hard because I'm sure a lot of people in Oakland know what that place is, dude.
Oh, it's famous.
You know, I was one of the outsiders that went there a couple times and it was just fucking. It was my favorite place.
I woke up there sometimes like scared, like, oh my god, what have I done?
What's happening here? Yeah. So you spent years in New Orleans cooking. New Orleans is insane, dude. That town is equally awesome as it is terrifying. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's
And actually, New Orleans ruined our tour once.
Oh, it's done that to a lot of
Yeah,
people.
and it was because of I don't know if I told you this, but we went.
Here
I
comes
was
the
in a band
truth.
called the Fucking Wrath many years ago, right? And we used to tour around and do a lot of shit. Not as much as them, but right on the heels of it, you know. So we had a tour that we were going to play on the 1st of November in New Orleans, and we decided like let's go to fucking New Orleans for Halloween, right? Cool, should be
Famous
fun.
last words.
Right, yeah, dude. Anyway, so we're on what Bourbon Street or whatever down there, fucking around. Me and the bass player were pussies. We were like 2-3 in the morning. We're like, fucking, I'm out, dude. We go to the hotel room, right? So about 30-40 minutes later, our other guys come back and they are ghost white, and fucking something happened, right? So we come to find out some guy on Bourbon Street got pissed at someone saying something to his girlfriend and emptied a 32 round clip into the crowd.
Yeah.
And killed like 9 fucking people. Mm-hmm. And Scheimer pulled like a dead body out of the street. You know what I mean? Like, and my guys were just coming out of a club or something at the time. And, you know, I mean, it fucking changed because we were on our way back home. You know what I mean? And it changed the whole fucking thing, you know? And then we found out like 15 people had died that night. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I remember that. I was there that year.
Yeah. Oh, were you? Okay.
Can I tell the most fucked up New Orleans murder story
Yes.
that anybody has ever heard in their life?
please. Yes.
So, this fucking random dipshit raver kid came through town and he had all these vials of LSD. And I had this one bedroom, basically a studio with a door in the middle of it, apartment.
Sorry.
And yeah, no, thank you. Feel free. But so he fed me and 3 of my friends a whole bunch of acid. And then my girlfriend came home like the 1 week she had a job that year from work, and she's like, "Oh, you fucking high motherfuckers, get out of the house." So we went to the train tracks up the road, and there's this big electrical tower where we used to climb up and drink in. And we're all up there tripping our balls off, having a good old time. We each got like a couple of 40s, you know, and like we're like 20 feet in the air. Well, then these 2 cars pull up, and a dude gets out of the driver's side, and a dude gets out of the rear of the passenger side. And then they go around and each car. This happened simultaneously, like they were in the military or some shit. And the dude in the front passenger side, they pulled out, and they were both hogtied and fucking blindfolded.
Whoa.
And they sat him down like below our feet, and fucking execution style murdered both these motherfuckers
Like literally in front of you.
while
Oh,
we're
you guys
tripping.
were, you
Oh
were
my
up in the
God.
thing. So
On
they
a-
didn't-
on
Yeah,
LSD?
they didn't see us, and we were on acid, and we
Oh
watched these
my.
motherfuckers get murdered. Like there's like brains stuck to the bottom of our shoes,
Oh my God.
and we're all just like silent. And then they left the bodies there, and the 2 dudes in each car. They got in, they drove away, and right before that, we were all arguing about who had to be the asshole to go into the grocery store and get more beer.
Right.
But after that, and we saw that they were gone, all 4 of us busted through the door of the grocery store down the street
Yeah.
running. We fucking, like, beer, you know, where you steal beer. We
Yeah.
stole a case each,
Yeah.
and we
Beer run.
ran back to my house. We didn't pay for nothing. We locked the fucking doors.
Oh my.
One of my friends sat in a fucking reclining chair with, like, a Mexican poncho thing up over his head, acting like Beavis and Butthead shit, but, like, he was like, "It's my tank. Nobody can hurt me in here." And he just sat there and rocked for, like, 2 days.
Oh my God.
While he was coming down. I had to go to work the next day, so I'm a fucking asshole just sitting there, like, trying not to think about it.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Did
That
you
was-
get any backstory with any of it? Or
No, man, it didn't even make the newspaper.
just some
Really?
random ass shit.
Yeah, some fucking.
So they actively saw you. It wasn't
No,
like,
they didn't see us.
Oh, they didn't see you.
No,
guys.
if they would have
Okay.
seen us, they probably would have shot us.
That's what
too.
I'm saying. Like I didn't know how the fuck you guys didn't get.
We were all
murdered.
just silent.
Wow.
Like, it's amazing how long you can hold your breath on acid if you're worried about getting shot.
There's the clip. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that's
so
fucked up.
wild.
Yeah, New Orleans, every time I've been there, I'm like, fuck. Like a day or two, and then I'm like, get me out, dude. Get me out of
Yeah,
here.
that's the only place I've ever not been treated like a third-class citizen in this whole
Right.
country. So it's what I call home, and I'll
Yeah.
probably be moving back there real soon.
You think so?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
fuck the West Coast.
I could see the
No
I could see the
offense
call for it.
to
No,
you
no,
guys,
it's fine,
but
I'm not-
I don't agree with West Coast. I'm a little bit too much for them to chew on.
We've all traveled around enough to know that everywhere has its own unique shit.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. I mean, yeah, ours ended with just us getting a huge tour offer the next day, and I was like, we're having a tough time on this one, dude.
I just want
I
my
don't know if we're
bed.
gonna do it.
Yeah, no, it totally.
Yeah, we got offered like a Black Cobra something else tour like around Christmas the next day from Tone Deaf, who was like a big fucking booking agent, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a rough time to ask, dude. I fucking know what to do. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. You're like, I need to sleep more.
Yeah, totally. It was fucking rough, man. But, so New Orleans to Houston to ending up in Oakland.
Well, it was New Orleans to Oakland, back to New Orleans, then to Houston, then to Spokane again for a second.
Okay.
I fucking hate that town. And then to Portland, and a whole bunch of like trips across country, being a dipshit in
Sure.
between. Like,
Yeah.
I was in Tampa for a couple years. And
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, everywhere.
Just always traveling around. Do you get uncomfortable being somewhere too long?
Yeah.
You
Well,
do, right?
I usually end up making it that way for myself. And
Right. I get it, man. I totally get
no,
it.
those these see to happen.
I get it, man. I get it. And you were, I mean, Noel, you were in that band Elk, right?
Yeah, I was in Elk.
Okay.
In New Orleans, I was in a band called Cancer Patient,
Okay.
which was infamous for the short amount of time that we were a thing.
Okay.
I was in a band in Houston called Crusher.
Is that the one that Gaze played with that one time? Or what band was that? And you were in a band in Houston. And we
Yeah,
played
that was
together.
Crusher, when we played with
Crusher, okay.
Gaze. Yeah. And then Elk, and I was in Portland in a band for a second called Villainous Temple.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going. I was in a band out of Spokane called Ascavalt. It was like some like crust DB, like tough
Yeah.
guy shit. But
Yeah.
that was one of the original members from Stormcrow
Okay.
that was in that. So we did a West Coast tour. We played down in LA and fucking everywhere. And yeah, it was pretty fun.
At what point did you end up in Alaska doing fishing? Somewhere in between all that?
Right at the very beginning of COVID, I couldn't find work in Portland, and I was
Okay.
stuck there. Like I'd been like living under a tent or under a tarp tied to my Harley, and it got cold, and I was out of money. And
You're like, I need to get colder.
yeah, well, I mean, I was like, I need some cash. Like I'll do what the fuck ever. And my buddy was like, why don't you go check out Alaska fishing? You know how to cook. So I got a cooking job on a freight ship,
Oh, okay.
and fucking I left the day after Christmas. You know that there's not even whales up there. It's too cold for fucking whales.
Really, up
but
there?
yet my stupid ass goes out on a boat.
Whales are like, calm down.
Really? There's
Yeah.
no whales up there?
No, man, they
They
go
don't
south.
even-
That's too far
Well, they
north,
migrate through, or I mean,
No,
they
they
visit it?
fucking leave
Then they go, no.
when it's
Well,
that
they're
cold.
there and then they gotta leave, so
Yeah.
they're there at some point.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
it's warm, probably.
when it's warm, but not
Oh,
in
yeah.
January and February.
Yeah, whales, they don't like real cold shit, dude.
No,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
but I was like, if whales aren't here, why the fuck are we here? This is stupid.
Well, there's fish, though.
Yeah, there's always fish.
Yeah. So you're working on like a big freighter, like as a cook up there.
Yeah, yeah. My first one was that, and the captain was a cocksucker, and I ended up quitting that one before the season ended, and went back the next season to do the salmon run in the summertime. This
Okay.
was last year, and yeah, that's when shit got weird.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
so?
Well, so I got arrested off of the boat that I started out on.
Okay.
which was the first time I've been arrested in like over a decade. So I was kind of bummed because I was pretty proud of my
you had a
non-fucked up
good run,
record.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like in your 40s at this point.
Yeah,
you
just
get
shut up.
arrested.
Thanks for reminding me.
You spent all of your 30s not getting arrested.
Yeah,
Until
pretty
you got
much.
to your 40s.
Uh-huh,
You decided
yeah.
to just kick it up
You're
again.
like, I had a good run.
Well, the captain tried to not pay me
Oh, okay.
for a bunch of money, and so I was yelling at him right after this crane almost crushed me because his boat was a falling apart piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "No, dude, you're gonna pay me for all that time that I worked with you helping get the boat ready." It was about a month, and he said he'd give me 10 days. I was like, "Go fuck yourself, dude!
Mm-hmm.
Like, no way. I got 2 days off in a month, and you're gonna pay me for 10 out of 30? Kiss my ass."
Right.
But I didn't touch him because when you're up there and you're on the water, if you hit somebody, it's a violent act, and the Coast Guard takes
Like
it.
maritime law.
Yeah,
shit,
maritime
right?
law. It's a
Yeah.
huge fucking issue. And so this dude, I fucking yelled in his face till he snapped, this old man, and he fucking jumped on me. And I was just laying there with my hands by my side, still yelling in his face while he's sitting up there like spitting on me. Mm-hmm. And then I saw this giant fist come out of nowhere. My homeboy that I had brought on the boat with me just fucking knocked him the fuck out. Whack!
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, there goes the neighborhood.
Here it
you know?
goes, dude.
So the captain shakes it off. He runs inside, locks the door, and calls the fucking cops and said that I started it. So we're locked out on the deck for like 12 hours while he's hiding in there.
Yeah.
And then my buddy starts going apeshit and like fucking cutting lines to cameras and being a fucking dumbass. I'm like, I just laid down in one spot in front of the cameras because I'm like, I'm not trying to get in any more trouble.
Yeah.
So the cops finally came. They put us on a boat. And their boat took us to shore in handcuffs. And this is a whole, just getting to jail was like a fucking experience. It took like 16 hours.
Jesus.
So
You've been arrested for 16 hours.
Yeah, and
before
we
you
haven't even
get
No,
to
there's,
touched
I
the
remember
jail.
he told me this story, and there's like some wild, because you're in a truck, you're on a boat, a helicopter.
3 trucks, a boat, a Cessna, a van, the police vehicle, and then we get to lockup. And lockup is like this cement bunker, and they put us in pink striped suits
Oh, really?
in like a
Old
pink
school
cell
shit.
with like fucking
Yeah.
like bars where I wish I had a tin cup so I could be
None
like,
of this. There was no
Nobody
transportation
know.
with animals at any point. Like you didn't have to ride an elk.
You didn't have to ride a horse or
yeah,
an
like
elephant. Yeah,
a
an
cop
elk or
elk.
something.
I felt like I got fucked by an elk by the end of it.
Dude.
Yeah.
In handcuffs the whole time.
Yeah, in
16
handcuffs.
hours.
Wait,
in
start
handcuffs.
getting it. So from boat to boat.
From boat to back of a pickup truck to back of a second pickup truck to a Cessna to a van to a third pickup truck to the police vehicle
Jesus Christ.
to the
Wait,
jail.
this is all different people driving these things. So there's like 10
No,
plus conversations,
that-
or one guy the whole time.
I'll never forget his name, and he's like one of the Alaskan Trooper fucking TV show
Oh,
assholes.
okay. He's on one of those shows.
Yeah, Trooper Roble.
Roble. Huh?
He's like the Dick Duster mustache guy.
Yeah. Well.
He is the sweetest man. All those cops, like, even though they did this to us,
Yeah.
and they had me and my homie just cuffed in a plane and like all kinds of shit, they were so fucking nice and so courteous. And like, I've been arrested in damn near every state I've ever walked through.
Yeah.
Those were the coolest fucking cops.
Really? That's
And
nice.
they let me out like 4 hours after I got to jail. My homie had a warrant, so he ended up sitting there for a couple months. But like, they let me out and like, they gave me a ride wherever I wanted to go. And,
Really?
like, yeah, I was like, you know what? All cops are bastards, but not in Alaska.
Not in
Like,
Alaska.
and they're like, really? I was like, dude, can I have a hug? And I hugged the guy.
Did you?
Like, yeah. They were so fucking cool, dude. I couldn't believe it.
Hey man, you get lucky every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
How many other times have you been roughed up by cops for no fucking reason? You know?
Oh,
It's like
dude.
every time. The answer is every time.
I almost got killed
Did
by
you?
Texas cops. Like, they crushed my skull, broke 4 of my ribs,
Really?
my arm, my leg, my foot.
They
Somehow.
think you're a black guy?
I was asleep in a park, and they tried to wake me up, and I woke up swinging,
No, okay.
and I hit them in the nuts, I guess. And
Whoa.
yeah, they almost killed me. I woke up on heart monitors facing 15 years when I was 18 years old.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I
You
sat
said
on
they
that one
broke
for a
your
year and a
foot,
half.
too?
Yeah, I was like, where'd my foot get involved? What the fuck is
They
that?
must have just like cock.
Yeah, it's like their homie ran up. Oh, I'm gonna get him. Oh, stomped on me or something.
He's the last guy.
They
that
just
hit
had
him.
some random homie, like he's off duty cop, like, hey, you want
We're
to
beating the
you want
fuck
to
out of
lick
this
on
guy.
this kid?
Yeah.
Like,
come on down. We got a punching bag.
Yeah. Well, that's wild, man. I mean, being in Alaska and getting arrested is a. I've been to Alaska on a cruise, so that was my whole thing. And the only reason I got to go was because my old man divorced his wife right before it happened, and he already had bought the tickets.
Oh. You were the date? You were the Alaskan date?
We were in like a suite, you know what I mean, together.
You and your dad cuddled.
Me and my old man. Yeah, which
Like,
it was
pretty
fine,
cold
you know
up
what I
here.
mean?
You're gonna
but
have to
that
come
was my
cuddle.
experience of Alaska. You know what I mean? It's like,
Where did you guys take off from?
Seattle.
And then the boat from Seattle up?
Up to Victoria, and then fucking Anchor, all that shit up there. You know, it was like a 7-day. But that's my experience. Is like
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was very nice. You know, because could have.
I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
I've actually been to all 50 states. I'm sure you have.
No.
You had to have driven through every fucking state.
I'm missing 3.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've hit I think all 50. I just went to Hawaii. That was the last one, dude.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
I've been to Puerto Rico, Hawaii, or
Puerto
Alaska.
Rico.
Puerto Rico doesn't count.
Hey,
it's
yeah,
a
does.
province.
It's
It's not a
it's
state.
an asterisk.
Province. No.
So I have not hit Maine, Vermont, or Hawaii.
Okay.
I've been to Vermont.
I've hit Maine and Vermont.
I've been to Maine.
Yeah.
I think.
You've probably.
But
guarantee
there's.
you've driven through it.
Yeah, there's ones that I was in like once, and maybe I definitely haven't
counts,
played a
though.
show in everyone though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I haven't. I'm saying I know I haven't played a show.
No,
but
no.
I've driven through.
But driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you drive over the line, you're in
Yeah,
the state.
dude,
right?
that's all that matters.
But like, I mean,
Like the 4 corners, you get 4 at once. It's a cheat.
True.
Yeah.
It's a quad. It's a quad.
it was
you know?
very only recently that I went to Maine though. Like probably like the last Lecherous tour. So that
Okay.
one was always kind of like another frontier. That was pretty cool.
I went to Maine with Jackass. I was roading for my uncle's band, Jackass.
Whoa,
Yeah, that was fun, dude. That was awesome.
Maine's pretty cool.
Maine's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, but I always say this all the time. Like, you know, as much of a wild life as you've lived, and him, and you know, me in my own way. You know, I was never a crazy partier or any of that shit. But you know, we've got to see some crazy shit. And the majority of humans have like 4 or 5 states under their belt. Mm-hmm. They've, you know, like we're always.
I feel like there's people in Ventura that have never been to Ojai.
Oh, I guarantee it.
And vice versa.
Bro, there's people from the 9th ward that have never been to the fucking 3rd ward.
Right.
Like, in New Orleans.
Exactly.
Like,
Dude, my wife works at a school in Oxnard. There's kids in Oxnard that have never been to the beach.
can't
Isn't
you
that
walk
fucking
there?
my
wild?
mind.
Oxnard is here. Ventura,
But
Oxnard.
can't you walk there from?
Well, I mean, they're kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I mean, these kids are raised in horrendous conditions, and
yeah,
they've
I get
never
that.
been to the beach. Their whole entire
That's
life
wild.
is Lemonwood. Or
Well, then, I
whatever
mean,
the
dude,
fuck,
there's a
you know
lot
what
of
I mean?
people
Like,
that it's crazy. There's a lot of people that live in town that don't go to the beach, so it's
sure,
just as absurd.
but never been
almost.
to it, and you're
Never
like 10
been,
years
yeah.
old. You know what I mean? Like, and you live at the fucking beach. You know, so I always think like, how lucky are we that even
Yeah,
though
no, that's a
we've
good
got
point.
this, we've done, all of us have been in horrendous situations, and all of us are lucky to be alive. You know what I mean? In multiple ways.
or unlucky is.
or-
it seems to be a curse for me that I can't be hurt or killed. Like I just keep going. I'm like,
I'm the biotic man.
Well, maybe you have there's a greater good. You know,
Well-
Jesus. I don't know if you know, this is a religious podcast. Jesus loves you, dude.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Jesus, dude.
I know you have a 7 tattooed here.
Maybe you're like a jank Terminator. Like they keep on sending you back in time, but
Yeah,
the mission's
exactly.
failing. But they're like,
yeah,
you're on like a loop.
yeah.
You're like John Connor, dude.
no.
Yeah.
This stupid asshole just hasn't had enough punishment yet. Is what keeps happening.
Whatever he
You know
did
what's
in his
funny?
past
I
life
rewatched
is
that recently, and
Terminator.
yeah, and it's
2
a trip.
or 1?
And it's a
Okay.
trip because he like, I mean, yeah, he's pretty much indestructible. He's like a
Yeah.
gnarly thing, but his main power is he can replicate voices. It's weird, yeah, because like she calls like her mom, and it's,
yeah.
And he's
it's
like,
him, yeah,
"It's
and
me,
he's like,
what's
"Oh,
up?"
hey, honey," and it's like, but like he does it a couple of times, and then I was reading something, and they mentioned how like wild that was. It's like, oh, he has this voice replication technology, you know, and like
Yeah.
in '84, it's
The
like
truth of it is
Yeah.
that Schwarzenegger has a horrible speaking voice, so they just tried to cover his fucking dumbass
but
up
it
as
is,
much
but
as
that's
possible.
a part of the. That's a part
Yeah.
of that's a cool like funny thing to tie in.
Yeah.
But then that makes him so much scarier. His weird voice.
Yeah.
But I think that was written in before he was involved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
could
because
see
he
that.
tried out for a different part. Like I was kind of falling down a rabbit hole. I was like, oh, well,
Can you
that's a
imagine
trip.
Schwarzenegger not being Terminator? He's
Well,
like
he
some
almost
other
didn't do
random
it.
guy.
He did it because like he's like, oh, this movie's so low budge. If it goes nowhere, it won't affect me. Because
Right.
Conan, it was like
Yeah, Conan
a build
was
up to
shit.
Conan, you know. Because you got to
Conan
think
is
it's
the
like
shit,
it's like
dude.
band shit. Like, okay, you're gonna get these guarantees. You can't be playing these bullshit shows
around the area.
You know, like we got you on retainer. You know, so he probably said no to like a bunch of shit because it was like, I'm gonna do Conan.
You know how many times that me and Matt Pike have laid on a fucking floor next to each other, twitching with a hangover, watching Conan on a
dude.
repeat? Like,
Yeah.
that
All
was like
fucking
fucking
day.
5 years in a row, like
Yeah.
every day.
It doesn't. It literally doesn't get better. than
It's so
Conan.
bad, dude.
You know what I mean? But also, if robots like were to create a terrifying version of themselves, wouldn't it have like an Austrian accent?
Well, yeah, because they think we're all still afraid of Hitler and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They're like, oh, these guys do not like Nazis.
Yeah, nobody
So let's
loves
make them sound like a Nazi. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
Kind of
Actually,
ingenious,
I don't think there's a flaw in the fucking.
No,
movies, dude.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Except for they should have made his dick bigger when he stood up naked.
Wow.
Like, wow, the
It's a lot of
future.
roles, dude. Yeah. Just slanging, dude.
Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I can't ever help it.
Well, you're just out here staring at dicks, dude. That's,
Sometimes.
so if the mood's right,
I did pick
do you
him
have
up
a
on
type?
Skid Row the other
Do you have a
day.
type of dude?
No.
No.
But I'll tell you, when I strip, the only people I make money from is straight women and bears.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, dude.
All the in-between regular gay dudes
Not having
fucking
it.
hate me. Like,
Really?
I'm like covered in tattoos and hairy and
Yeah.
shit. Not their type. But the bears and the straight chicks is where all my money comes from when I'm
Yeah.
on the pole.
Yeah, because I hit, obviously I hit a demographic.
No, yeah, you would
know what
get the same
I'm
demographic as
I'm
me.
Bear, I get like when we. I've been to Patty's numerous. I don't know how many fucking times. Right. I've never bought a single drink at Patty's, which is a gay
And you
bar.
won't
I
have
should
to.
take him to Patty's later. Huh?
That's
I was,
where we're
I was
going
trying to
after
figure
this.
out.
Let's
Yeah,
do
I
it.
was like,
Oh,
I was
you'd
trying to
be
figure out
killing
where
it,
to take
dude.
him for Ventura
But
nightlife.
I walked into Patty's and literally had like 5 drinks put in my hands. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. This
yeah,
place
and
rules.
dodge blowjobs all day long.
You know, it's and so I worked at a bunch of record stores around here. There's Salzer's Records, which is a big entity. I worked at Wild Planet, right, which is owned.
I didn't realize you worked at Wild.
I worked at after I quit. I cussed the owner out of Salzer's and made her cry when I quit.
Good job.
Which like one of my
And then
real
you went to
like,
Wild Planet?
and you know what? She's a sweet lady now, but I was a fiery motherfucker back then, and like I made a millionaire cry, which was like one of my fucking top tier fucking things to knock off, right? So I went to
Solid.
work at Wild Planet after that, and Wild Planet was owned by a guy named Peter, who is a gay drag queen, old school, like 70s gay drag queen dude.
Those are
It's
some of the most
his name
amazing
is
people in the
Dora.
world.
He had a guy, his best friend that worked for him. His name was Thing, and
Rad.
and Thing looked like David Spade fucked Iggy Pop, and they both had AIDS. You know what I mean? Like it was.
That's
perfect.
my type, though. Actually.
Perfect.
I'm not even
Perfect
lying.
humor.
Like,
It was the best job I've ever had in my life, right? But I would be working at Wild Planet, and Peter has like all these old school like .com gay rich ass friends, like that made money in the 90s from the .com shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there like an asshole working, and this dude would come in and be like, "What's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Let me ask you a question. You want to go to Ibiza this weekend?" And I'm like, "So bad." Like, so, like I would love to, you know what I mean? Like, I missed the fucking boat, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm an asshole. I have 2 kids. I have a wife that I love to death, but I could have gone to Ibiza. And he
Yeah.
said it with the fuzz on it. You know what I mean? Like, this motherfucker had been there.
Yeah, no, he
and
know-
this
he
is
knows
in
the
the
local
fucking
language
early
and shit, yeah.
2000s where you didn't know what
Before
Ibiza
it was a huge thing,
You know what I mean? And he'd be like, "You want to go to Ibiza?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, like, do I have to?" He's like, "No. Yeah, we'll just go." I'm like, "God, that sounds so nice, dude. Sounds so nice."
Yeah.
Or like the other guy, Jeff, that would work there, he would be like, we'd be sitting in the. It was just me and him working. Jeff's gay as gay can gay, blowing dudes in the shoe room. I mean, he's just fucking doing the Lord's work, dude.
yeah.
Honestly.
That's what we
I
do.
mean, doing the fucking Lord's work over there, right? I'd go to like get a pair of creepers from the back, right? Remember the creepers?
Oh, yeah.
The moon shoes. I'd be like, "Oh!" I'd walk in the store, but Jeff would be like, at late at night.
Hey, he's just trying on slip-ons. You don't really need to help with
Slip
that.
it on,
Jeff would
slip
be
it off,
hammered,
slip it on,
right?
slip it
Jeff
off.
is hammered in the store with me, and he's like, "Craig, let me ask you a question." I'm like, "What's
you wanna
up?
go to
What's up,
Ibiza?"
Jeff?" And he's like, "You like blowjobs?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I
love
like
blowjobs.
blowjobs."
Who
He's like,
doesn't?
"You want one?" I'm like, No, I don't. And he's like, "Faggot," and he would just he'd call me gay, and then he'd go out and find some
Yep.
dude.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah.
How the fuck, man?
That's
You
the
know,
best
but
thing
I
I've ever heard.
love that shit. I love that culture. I love the old school gay culture because those guys didn't fuck around.
No.
And just like punks that earned their spot as punks, those old school
Yeah.
like 70s gays do not fuck around.
Dude,
You
for
know what I
real.
mean? And it's
like,
awesome, you know?
When I'm stripping and I go to give a lap dance,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who I'm giving a lap dance to. They all look like fucking guppies, and they're trying to suck my dick the whole fucking time. Like, and I'm like dodging blowjobs and trying to like turn them on and like
Poor guy.
keep my cock out of their mouth. Like,
I'm out here fucking supporting a whole family trying to get blowjobs, dude.
yeah,
Fucking
but
bullshit.
the thing
This
is,
is a bullshit career choice I made.
Man, think about if
you
you had
never-
gone to Ibiza.
I know.
you never get blowjobs by the people you want to suck your dick.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's like words to live by, children. Those of you,
Yeah. Remember,
The
Never-
children you can't see on the
the
couch.
people that are willing to suck your dick
are never the ones that you want to suck your dick.
So why did you get into stripping? Just because it was a thing?
Well, I was in New Orleans and I was dating a stripper, and this chick that I was dating who ended up lighting my house on fire with all of us in it later. That's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
She came home with like $3,000 one night on like a Wednesday.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll make that money. I was like, where do I sign up? And she's like, oh, there's a unisex club. And I didn't think,
Did Noel just die? Where'd Noel
no,
go?
I think
He
he
was
had a
about
shit
to-
or something.
Okay, there you go. All right.
But I didn't know that she like had connections to the unisex club on
Okay.
Bourbon Street. And I'm like 19, 20
Right.
years old. Well, she got me a tryout. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, fuck, this is real.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy, we drank a fifth of Jim Beam and a 40 each and smoked a bunch of weed. And I was wearing, I'll never forget, I was wearing Vans and cut-off Carhartts and no underwear. And I stopped at one of the like little sex stores on the way and bought a thong. And I'm like 19 at least, fucking poopy ass like crust punk dreadlocks.
There
and,
you
like,
go.
Two tattoos and this sunken fucking. I was this tall when I was 9.
Oh,
like
really?
6'4".
Oh, you've been a big guy your
So
whole
I no, but I didn't fill
You didn't
out till
fill
I was
out
like
for a while.
35. So
Oh,
I looked
damn.
like this weird fucking like crusty ostrich motherfucker.
You're like crust for not to.
Yeah, dude, no, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But I went in and I was so wasted. I almost fell off stage like 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And like meanwhile, there's all these like big fucking like buff ripped black dudes with like the fucking like rainbow or the fucking neon bands tied around
Sure.
their biceps, like flipping
Looking like the
quarters on their
Ultimate Warrior
stomach
and shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, hey baby, you want a lap dance? And like fucking wasted with poop dreads and shit. But I still
It worked.
I made like $50 that day.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, that was like a lot more than
Yeah, it could go a whole week, dude.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just kept doing it. And then off and on since then, and that's been 20 something years.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever there's a gay strip club in town, I'm gonna go and work there.
Yeah,
Like I'm
fuck.
45. I almost lost my right leg twice. My left one's still got steel rods in it, and I still do pole tricks and shit.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking. Like you said, it's really hard to kill me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's also like, it's so fucking nice to admit what you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many stipulations with that shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Like
if you're
being
willing to be like, this is fucking, I like this. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You know
the
what I
most
mean?
freeing thing in the world
Uh-huh.
was when I was able to like admit to being kind of gay and admit to being really tough and admit to being into country and metal and like you know, like when I stopped giving a fuck about what people thought,
Right.
that's when I truly became myself.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because all this stuff has been going on in different pockets and different times and shit, but now I'm at a point where I'm about to release an album where I'm not afraid to fucking
Right.
say anything about who I am or what I am.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you can suck my dick because you'll be one of the ones I want to.
Yeah. There you go.
You know?
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
That was a good turnaround.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. So speaking of the album, right? I mean, you've moved into. I mean, you played in metal bands and punk bands and crust bands, and all that shit. What drove you towards what it is you're doing now, which is very dark? The songs are very simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's basic.
You said thank you for sending me some tracks. It was very cool. You know, listen to them and they're recorded very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Billy Anderson is a
Billy
god
Anderson,
among men.
yeah, he's very
Oh
talented.
my god, I'm so happy I know,
You
that
know,
motherfucker.
and
Has he done any other acoustic stuff like
don't
that?
know.
Or-
he's done so much shit. Probably.
Did he do any of oh my god, why am I blanking on that fucking dude? Dale from I'm blanking. I'll think of the name.
Okay.
Dale.
From Seattle, fucking crazy,
Melvins?
gnarly. What?
From the Melvins?
No, no, not Dale Crover. Anyway, I think he did a couple of those records.
That'd be an
I can't-
interesting
why
record.
can't I
Dale Crover acoustic.
Well, Melvin's has a whole acoustic.
Yeah,
album.
they've
It's
done that,
incredible,
yeah.
But no, it's just him playing drums.
Like,
You better
they're
be
not
a goddamn
acoustic
good
already.
drummer to fill up a whole fucking album with it.
If anyone could pull it off, it'd be him. I'd say, right?
I only met Dale Crover once,
Uh-huh.
and I like Melvins. I mean, he's a badass drummer, you know.
Billy did do all the old Melvins albums, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like Shrine Builder, and we were
Okay.
That shit's cool.
we were doing
Shrine
some
Builder,
stuff
yeah.
that some people in that band weren't a fan of. But I was, doing that,
Yeah.
and like basically I was told like, oh, don't let Dale see this. He's gonna be super pissed.
Oh, really?
And like. We're like, all right, whatever. We're in the backstage room. You
Yeah.
know, you can be private and do those things you're not supposed to be doing.
But
And he
stuff.
just walked in, and like he was like this angry dad, and he looked at us all straight in the eyes, and immediately knew we were all high on speed,
Yeah.
and then like just gave us that grumpy look, and I was just like, oh man, this is not
I
the
just
like.
bummed out Dale Crover.
Yeah, and then
dude.
I'm like, I never got to meet him again. It was just like that was my one
That's his
experience
only
with Dale Crover. Or just like fuck.
like hears the words Annihilation Time. He's like, fuck.
Well, no, Scott Kelly was like super in Annihilation Time. I was like, oh, whoa, really?
Yeah,
So it was
obviously
like,
that motherfucker's
I was like,
into
oh, this
some
is
wild
cool.
shit.
And then
dude.
like I was like, oh, at least I'm like
yeah,
rubbing some shoulders, and then like Crover comes in and just
nope. Yeah. Yeah,
just
it's-
walked out.
oh man, yeah. It's like I've always said, like, don't meet your heroes, but you also like there's the risk that you could bum out your heroes too at the same time.
Oh,
It was
dude.
also, it was kind of one of those funnier ones. Yeah, where
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like,
a
oh,
good
you're a
one.
Yeah,
barn.
fuck you, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You were in the Melvins in the fucking 80s, bro.
Nah.
There wasn't some shit going on around.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
maybe he was pissed that we didn't share.
Maybe
That
you
could
know.
be it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could
Who
be
was
it.
that?
So when did you start getting into this like dark, fucking gnarly like country stuff?
So right when COVID was starting, I had recently left a girlfriend, and I was shitty, and I had some issues with some motorcycle stuff, and so I was just on the road,
Okay.
yelling Waylon Jennings songs into my helmet at fucking 150 miles an hour in the dark, just putting some miles on and getting my mind right. And I ran out of money in Portland. That's when I told you I was sleeping under a tarp tied to my Harley and
Right.
shit. When my Matt Pike introduced me to some people, and one of the guys' name was Lance, and Lance was in this band called Blackout Radio. It was kind of like surfabilly rock like type of shit.
Okay.
But Lance was from Alaska. He's like this 6'8" giant, sketchy looking fucking dude, sweeter than I am. But Lance took me in, let me stay at his house in his basement, and like he got me a job at this bar. And one day he heard me singing along to Waylon songs while I was cooking, and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll be quiet." He's like, "No." He's like, "Don't be quiet." He's like,
Do it again.
"You got a voice." He's like,
Yeah,
"You need
yeah.
to sing in front of people." And I was like, "Man, I'm busy. Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking with me." He's like, No. He's like, "We're going to start a band." And so we did. We started jamming together, and like he picked out two songs, or I picked out one song, and he picked out one song that we would cover just to like get it together.
Right.
And mine was Cat Stevens, that song "Trouble."
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Great song.
It's probably going to be on my second album because it's hard to sing it right now, and you'll see why in a minute. And the other song was Psycho. You think I'm psycho, don't you, mama? It's like an old country song.
Okay.
Because he said, I don't know anyone in the world that deserves to be singing this fucking song on stage in front of people besides you, you fucking wingnut.
Right.
And so we got those together, and then he's like, all right, now you got to learn the cowboy chords. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you, I'm a bass player. I just want to sing in
Is that what you did in all your bands? Play bass?
only bass.
Okay, only
and like
bass.
backup
Never-
vocals.
and
I
you
can
just
scream. Yeah, but
Right,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But so he was like, all right, you got to learn the cowboy chords or we're not going to jam together anymore. I was like, you're a fucking asshole.
Right.
So I had to buy an acoustic, and like I learned how to play, 5 chords.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I was like, all right. But I worked with him every day, and he's like, nope.
Right.
And one day I was like, all right, man, I got this shit figured out. He's like, okay, come over tomorrow. at 2:30, and I was breaking up with this chick, and I had a bunch of her stuff in my van, and I was leaving work. It's like 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. I had to go and throw this shit on this girl's doorstep. She was fucking evil. And then I left, and I went to sleep. And he texted me at like 7 a.m. He's like, how'd it go with that bitch? And I was like, well, you know, I didn't text back because I was asleep. And I went over to his house at 2, like I was supposed to. The door was locked, but his bike was there and his car was there. And I opened the door, and I just had this weird feeling. I'm like, Lance! And I'm yelling, you know, because I still had a key from when I lived there.
Sure.
And I saw that his bedroom door was shut. So I went and beat on his door. Like, man, he must have gone on one last night. So then I grabbed his really nice Martin acoustic, and I fucking started butchering songs on it because I knew if he woke up, he might have fucking hit me for fucking with his guitar. And I'm sitting outside of his bedroom door just butchering these 5 chords I barely learned. And he didn't wake up. I was like, fuck. So then I went and I found his kid's fucking Nerf dart gun because I knew he slept with a fucking pistol under his pillow. And I pushed the door open and I shot at him with the Nerf gun, hoping that he wouldn't just come up and fucking let a real round off at me. And nothing. And I was like, fuck. I knew. And I turned the light on, and he was dead. He had died in his sleep. He was naked, like his eyes were open. I'll never forget the way his eyes looked. But yeah, I had to call his roommate. I had to call the ambulance. I had fucking called everybody. And they're like, well, do we need to hurry? I'm like, listen, motherfucker, there's a lot of people that care about this man. I mean, including his children.
Right.
I was like, you fucking hurry up, and you bring him back to life fucking toys with you. Get your ass over here. And they showed up, and they tried, and it didn't work. He had been dead.
Man.
I'll never forget the way his eyes looked and the way it felt when I touched him. He was hard and cold, and it sucked. But from that day forward, I have been playing real sad country music in his name. And it hasn't even been 2 years. And I got an album about to drop, and I'm going on tour with it. So he was fucking right, you know, and I'm doing all this for him.
Oh, good.
His name was Lance Seaton. He's a beautiful man. A lot of people knew him or in the metal community. Anybody that's been through Portland, anybody that's ever been to Kodiak, Alaska, he was a very large, proud character. And I'm glad to call him my friend. And
yeah.
Well,
that's
but did you talk? I don't know if when I was in the bathroom you mentioned it, but how you ended up meeting his friend on the boat.
Right.
That's the thing that tripped me out. I was like, whoa, like.
So with the Alaska thing, when I got dropped off at the dock where I was waiting on my paycheck by the cops after I got out of jail and I had no job, I'm like kicking rocks up and down the street. Fucking mad. Fucking bullshit. And there was this little short, angry, like dirty skater looking motherfucker that was doing the same thing. And we just kept staring at each other, walking back and forth. And I got my check finally, and he's like, he saw me, he's like, hey, he's like, you want a fucking job? And I looked at this little motherfucker, and I'm like, doing what? Like, we were both in the same bad mood. He's like, well, I got a boat, and somebody fucking quit, and I need a deckhand. I was like, let me see your boat. And I walk over, you know, we walk down, and we look at his boat. It was called the Gunslinger, and I was like, all right, so I'm probably going to do it anyways.
Right, just the name alone.
Yeah, and I was like, it's perfect. Yeah. And then it said Kodiak, Alaska. And I knew that's where Lance was from.
Right.
And so I get on the boat, and me and the captain had a couple shots, and we're like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. And I was like, did you ever know a guy named Lance? And he looked at me, and his eyes got real fucking pinned, like he was going to fucking cut me. He goes, I didn't know him. He goes, that was my fucking brother.
Actual brother?
No, but they grew up together.
Like tight.
And it turned out this dude's name, he went by Tommy Gunn back in the day.
Oh, really?
And I knew exactly who he was as soon as he said his name because Lance's band Blackout Radio, he had a song talking about him and Tommy Gunn running around getting in trouble in Alaska and shit.
Wow.
And we both just started crying and we hugged each other.
Wow.
And Lance fucking pushed me to that. Like that motherfucker, I swear, whether you believe in ghosts or not, from beyond the grave.
Right.
That dude jerked off a cop once when I was about to get arrested to keep me from getting
Wait,
arrested.
you mean the ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost
Oh.
did?
Lance's ghost jerked off a cop for me right after he died. Yeah, I got pulled over with 1,000 felonies doing like 140 on my motorcycle by a state trooper. And
And he let you go somehow?
he let me go because
He's like,
I
you
was
know
on,
what? I'm going to do you a favor.
because I was on the death certificate for Lance
Damn.
dying like right
Yeah.
after he died. Like I couldn't be in Portland because everybody was trying to play that I knew him better game.
Wow.
I'm like, man, I'm the one that touched his cold ass fucking body and fucking
Wow.
had to look in his
Yeah.
dead fucking eyes. Y'all shut the fuck up.
I had
So
to see his dead dick, motherfucker.
I did.
It's
He
a
was
small
naked.
fucking world.
No,
Wait, does your
dude.
dick shrink when you die?
His looked great.
His
I don't know.
looked
Yeah.
Well,
But
R.I.P.
Does-
Lance's dick, dude. You know what I mean?
I love that man.
Maybe
dude.
Yeah.
it gets bigger.
Well, that's cool.
Like,
though. I
I
mean,
mean-
it's a horrendous to lose a friend,
Yeah.
man. You know
But
what I
that
mean? Yeah.
long story longer, all that bullshit happened, and that's when I started really pursuing this country music shit. And it's funny because the first boat I got arrested off of was where I wrote most of the songs for this album.
Oh, really?
And then I ended up, my guitar got stolen, but I got on a boat with Lance's buddy, so I was still writing.
Wait, did the bear steal the guitar too?
No, the cocksucking fucking captain did.
Oh,
Yeah, there's so much.
That's all. Hey, man. Yeah. Yeah. There's. I mean. Yeah. There's a lot. Man.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, to lose a friend like that is just fucking horrendous. But like the fact that you feel like you need to honor him and
Yeah.
follow what it is that he saw in you is fucking killer.
And
You
the-
know what I
hey,
mean?
he's
fact
got some
that-
ghost fucking
yeah, he's got
to
some
pay
ghost
off.
jizz to fucking.
And the
clean up.
fact that I fucking did it.
Yeah.
Like, it hadn't even been 2 years. I taught myself how to play every instrument on the album. I played everything.
Oh, really? It's all
and
you.
I've only been a bass player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's minimal. You know, you heard it, but like,
Yeah,
I played every fucking ding, every shik, every fucking, you name it. Like, I did it all.
That's awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
I'd love to hear. Oh, first of all, I want to say that on top of all the things, you're a fucking awesome artist. I've seen a bunch of your art
thank
on Instagram, right? So Marion Black,
Yeah.
Instagram, right?
The outlaw
So he gave me
Marion
this
Black.
beautiful fucking piece today, which we will definitely be making into a shirt or something.
Fuck yeah.
So maybe some embroidered patches, dude. That's cool.
I did an Astral Butcher shirt
Did
for
you?
them, too.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So thank you so much for that, dude.
Yeah, of course.
I mean. You haven't. I'll show you my house, but I have all kinds of fucking art all over the place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So thank you for that. But
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a song if you want to play a song.
Hell yeah. I'd love to.
Well, let's take let me get this thing set up so we can do it.
Cool.
Take a breather.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a bong load.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can
Check.
Go ahead and play a little bit.
Oh, if I knew how to play it, maybe. check.
Cool. Awesome.
How's that sound? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Yeah. Cool, man. You ready to roll?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this is my cover of Hank Sr. Ramblin' Man. It's on the album. Probably won't sound exactly like this because every time I do it, it's a little different, but you know. I can settle down and be doing just fine till I hear an old freight rolling down the line. Then I hurry straight home and pass. And if I didn't go, leave I blow my stack. I love you, baby, but you got to understand that when the Lord made me, He made a rambling man. Some folks might say that I'm no good, that I wouldn't settle down if I could. But when that open road gets to calling me, there's something o'er the hill that I've got to see. I know it's hard, but you got to understand that when the Lord made me, He made a rambling man. Love to see the town passing on by and ride these rails, neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, because that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone, and at my grave you'll stand, say God has called home your rambling man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, dude, it's awesome. So let me thank you. That was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What's going on with the album? When is it coming out? When's it dropping? What do you got plans for touring? All that shit.
Oh yeah. So me and Noel and my buddy Dwight Hawkins, where if y'all get a chance to look him up, he is the baddest fucking finger picking guitar player I've ever seen in person in my life. Mm-hmm. And one or two other guys, we're gonna do a whole tour on this record in the end of summer. We're planning for August. It's the Gems label, Jems, all caps, out of Chicago. Normally does black metal stuff, but he heard my record and he's like, this is so fucking weird and so dark.
Yeah,
he's like, I gotta pick this up. And big props to them for doing this. But yeah, we're gonna try to at least do the West Coast, if not the West and the South, in August. And yeah, I got like this record is 9 songs. I got fucking 12, 15 more.
Great.
Like I got another one down the pipes as soon as this goes off.
Yeah.
But the album should be coming out hopefully like May, June.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a top secret fucking like trick up my sleeve that's gonna happen when the album happens.
Yeah, there you
go. Y'all just look at the world for
Everyone
that.
wait, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll see it. Marion Black is a motherfucking thing.
Yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming. Thank you, Noel, for introducing me. You know what I mean? It's if Noel
Glad
Noel
to be
vouches
back.
for you.
Is this,
you know what I mean?
is this the 4th episode?
It might be, dude. Yeah.
Because did Butcher do 2?
Butcher did too. Yeah.
Because there was one without Jay and one with Jay.
Yeah.
And then I did one solo before
Right.
that, and then this one.
Oh, and I drew
I
a
think-
Butcher t-shirt. Yeah, I was gonna fucking jam with them at one point. Like it's all
Yeah, man.
It's all interconnected. I was remembering like
incestual family
when
shit.
what it was AT and Elk, we were playing Tacoma together, and then who was the other Bay Area man? Antigone?
No, it was fucking Jesus fucking Christ.
No.
wasn't it? No, we
No.
played with them in Seattle right before
Maybe
that.
you guys did, but we
Yeah.
were with like a Bay Area thrash band.
Yeah, I don't
And
remember.
we're all in Tacoma together on like some bullshit like Tuesday, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody showed up.
no one was there,
Tuesdays,
but
dude.
then
We bought a fucking case of Night Train.
There you
yeah,
go.
Annihilation Time was like Downing Night Train, and Mike came up and he was like, "Oh, you guys like fortified wine too?" And we had never heard it.
Oh,
We were like, "Whoa, that's what this is." We're just
I
like,
don't know what fortified wine is, so.
It's like Night Train, Wild Rose.
Oh.
What's the
Yeah,
other
all the
ones?
bad shit.
Thunder.
Yeesh.
What's the Thunder one?
Thunderbird,
Thunderbird.
Mad Dog. Yeah.
There you
Frisco.
So we,
Yeah.
I don't know how we found this because we could just drink beer all night and that was a
Right.
cool thing. And then it was like, oh, this is like a perfect thing to kind of share. I think because it's like it was real hot up there that
Well,
summer
and we
too.
couldn't. The liquor stores and beer stores were
yeah.
closed, but that one bar sold us
7-Eleven
a case of it. or
But
something.
then also it was like we were running into something where 7-Eleven does sell them. Because we were like drinking them, like, and then we ran into you. So it was like this funny thing where we were already,
Cohesion
yeah,
of
like it was a
chaos.
cohesion. But I think it was because like certain 7-Elevens up there weren't selling hard A, but you was like, oh well, you can get this fortified wine,
Right.
So it was just like extra little kick, but like it was just wild. Like I remember we ended up going back
We
to
were
Portland
leaving.
to party.
we
and
were
then
throwing bottles of it.
we were just like
car
throwing,
to car.
oh yeah, we were
on
like
the
throwing
freeway.
night train to each other.
Yeah, dude,
like
it
it
was
was
fucking
fucking
stupid.
crazy. And then in the AT van, like it
That
was
was when
so
you guys
hot.
had the cunt mobile.
Yeah,
and
the
shit.
connection. We were
Yes.
all in there, and it was so hot, and everyone was like, we were shirtless, slapping each other on the back for some reason. Like, who can handle like the gauntlet? And then I just remember someone just because we're all pissing in like a gallon,
yeah,
and
jug.
someone just undid it and just
Oh, my
open
God.
piss on all over us. It was just like, what is wrong with us? Night train just makes you fucking
Dude, it makes
crazy.
you fucking wild,
Dude,
bro.
I woke up that next day inside of the car because everybody was so mad at me because I was so fucked up. I was the only one sleeping in our vehicle, and it was a heat wave in Portland. And I figured we were just parked in front of like the house that we were staying
Right.
at. So I'm all hot, fucking dying. I throw the door open. And I walk straight to the house and I kick the door open, and it's this old lady dusting her mantle, and she starts screaming. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I run outside and I notice that 2 doors over, the fence is made out of like bicycle wheels.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, wrong house.
Wrong
And I
house.
ran over there and I fucking kicked the door open and I went and hid in the basement and shit. Like, I was so.
It's like these fucking neighbors.
Yeah, dude. Like, God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know why I didn't go to jail for that one.
Hey, man.
It's
Well-
basically an accidental home invasion. Fuck.
Oh my god. Well, this has been fucking awesome, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
Check
having me
out
again,
Marion
Brandon.
Black's
Both of
album
you.
coming out. Hopefully August-ish, right?
Somewhere between June and August.
Yeah, June and August, man. And thanks, Noel. I love you, man.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for Jay's payment.
Right, yeah. We'll let him know, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking motherfucker.
Yeah, Jay, you better be hearing this
so they
on
can
the
find you
radio
on Marion
waves.
Black on Instagram.
Yeah,
all
the
things,
Outlaw
right?
Marion Black
Outlaw Marion Black
is
yeah.
the Instagram, and that'll have all the details of everything. You can see my art, my stripping career, my music career.
Oh yeah, so if you're in Portland, where do they catch you dancing?
Yeah, where do they catch you dancing?
That's few and far between these days. I try
Okay.
to make it a special
Where,
thing.
well, first of all, where do they catch hands while you're
Yeah,
bouncing in Portland? That's what we want to know.
I'm at Mary's Club
There you
downtown,
go.
the oldest strip club.
They
in
Is the
Portland.
Acropolis still around?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't. What? You can't be a dude and get a job there? You gotta-
No,
I
but
mean-
they have a killer fucking steakhouse. Like they have
Yeah.
killer food, right?
So,
Have
we
you
used
ever
to-
just tried to like go like dope? Like, why can I get a job here? Like, I
Hey man,
Well,
there's a
I
lot of
used to
woke
d-
shit going on right now. You might be able to sneak in.
there's a place called the Kit Kat that has all gender Tuesdays,
Okay.
but I'm not allowed there for certain reasons. But I used to dance
I just
there.
can't imagine
all
why, dude.
gender Tuesdays.
All
Yeah,
gender
it's pretty
Tuesday.
awesome.
That's
Men,
cool.
women, trans.
All right.
Stag is
Yeti.
the bar that you can catch me at. It's a gay bar.
If you want to catch hands.
No, if you want to like see me
Catch
strip.
you. Okay, all right. There you go.
But Mary's Club, I'm there all weekend, every weekend, and that is the most amazing strip
Dude,
club I've
Portland
ever
has
worked for in
the
my life.
best strip clubs. I mean, Atlanta's no fucking joke. Portland is fucking killer.
No, it's better.
If you're a
Yeah.
punker like Portland, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but we used to get hammered and go to the Acropolis, and then I'd eat like steak and eggs and shit.
Yeah,
I
well,
fucking
you got
love that
fucking
place.
butt cheeks in your face
Oh, I
and steak
love
in
it,
your
dude.
stomach.
That was
Yeah,
amazing,
it's fucking
man.
awesome.
But
There's a lot
thank
of
you
good
so
clubs.
much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you,
dude.
man.
This has
Fuck
been
yeah,
awesome.
dude.
Fuck yeah.
Let's get the
Oh,
fuck
don't
outta
leave
here.
me hanging,
Oh,
dog.
sorry, brother.
Yeah, don't hang.
Hey, man.